All right, I want to take a pretty careful look at this one. I think this is the third free response in the latest free response packet. They first of all want us to find the ratio test, or to do the ratio test and find the radius of convergence here. So remember, we're looking for the limit as n approaches infinity of a sub n plus 1 over a sub n. Technically take the absolute value of that whole thing. We're looking at the positive terms of the series, and we want that ratio to work out to be less than 1. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to take that formula out of here because I need space. All right, so we're going to be, actually I should have left the limit there. We're going to take the limit of the n plus 1 term, okay, the n plus 1 term, that's going to be negative 3 to the n over n plus 1 times x to the n. I'm going to put x to the n in the numerator here of this fraction. Okay, and we're going to divide by the nth term. I'm going to do that as multiplying by the reciprocal of the nth term. So we're going to have a negative 3 to the n minus 1. We are going to have an x to the, oh, I'm sorry, this should have been x to the n plus 1 up here. And then this should have been an x to the n. And then we're going to have a just regular n here. Okay. If you simplify, everything is going to cancel here except we're going to be left with the limit as n approaches infinity. You're going to be left with just a negative 3 because you've got one more n in the top, one more negative 3 in the top than in the bottom. You're going to be left with just a single x in the top. And I'm going to leave the n over n plus 1 here for a second, okay? So we're going to apply this limit. This is the limit as n approaches infinity, and n over n plus 1 is going to approach 1. So this is going to approach the absolute value of negative 3x. Of course, that absolute value there is going to knock off that negative on that absolute value, and the limit is going to approach 3 times the absolute value of x. Okay, so anyway, to kind of clear all that out, what we're going to end up with here is 3 times the absolute value of x needs to be less than 1. Well, we could rewrite that. We could write this as 3x needs to be between 1 and negative 1. And so if we divide everything by 3 here, we're going to find out that our radius of convergence, r here, is equal to 1/3. Okay, they're not asking us to do anything like find the interval of convergence. We don't need to check endpoints or anything like that. So that's all we need to do for the ratio test part. I'm going to do a separate video looking at some of the other parts.